Jeanette, I take it that you did not get any notification about any public comments, right? Email comments?
Right.
Correct, okay. There are no additions to the agenda. So, David, would you give us the Board of Selectmen's liaison report, please?
Okay. Yeah, I've got a couple of things here. Let's see. You know about the preliminary budget hearing, April 18th, I just repeat that. The Housing Commission study Chairman Dominic Thomas advised the Board of Selectmen to suspend any action with Arbor Haven until the draft of his report comes out. Let's see here, what to read. The town approved $300,000 for the senior center renovation. You probably know about that. The total ARPA funds available to the town are $2.6 million. The strategic
David,
plan.
I'm sorry, David, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I understood there was a little problem with the grant money, and they just needed to renegotiate some of the reporting and the terms, but that's not new money, that's grant money that we received, the bonding money. Yeah, we have not received any extra money. That's just our bonding money.
That's bonding money, that's correct, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's not new money to us.
The strategic plan subcommittee has been working on, among other things, ways to support the quality of life through human services, library, and recreation departments. So that's all I have that's pertinent to human services.
What does that mean?
What does what mean?
The strategic planning committee.
Well, there's a strategic planning subcommittee of the Board of Selectmen, and they have a number of issues that they're charged with, among which are expanding the grand list, looking at issues like improving the village district, bringing more business into town. I think looking at the housing issues. There are a whole number of things. I'm not really sharp on them. I'm sorry, but you know, one of the things that they're looking at here.
Will that involve this commission yet?
Only that one of the things that they're trying to do is support human services. That's why I mentioned it. So
I think one of the things that they're identifying is the center building and making a recommendation for an upgrade to the center building as a whole. I think that its time has come and we've made enough noise. I think there's something about a plan for an upgrade to the whole building.
yes, I believe that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Who are the members of the strategic planning team? Is it just the Board of Selectmen?
It's a subcommittee. It's Sheila McCrevin and David Vogel.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, David.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I forgot to say that Dwight did contact us to let us know that he could not make it tonight.
Okay, all right. So there will be no Board of Finance report from Dwight. Next item on the agenda is the minutes of the March 7th meeting. Viviana was the only, you were not there, Viviana, so Viviana will not be voting on them, but are there any corrections to the minutes? Has everybody had a chance to look at them?
So,
If there are no corrections, additions, omissions, then I'll need a motion to accept the minutes.
so moved.
And a second?
Second.
Jen, okay. Hopefully this is one of our last roll call votes, guys. Janet,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Arnie,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
and myself, yes. Okay. Motion carried. Next item is youth services report. Nancy, would you please give us your youth services report?
Sure.
And we're glad you're
Everyone.
feeling better.
Thank you. Thank you. Lots better. Thank you. For Selectmen's Youth Award, nominations were due today. I have 4 right now, and they're quite good. And so the Youth Advisory Board will have a special meeting on April 18th to choose the winner. And then we were talking about whether or not to have the award ceremony and include it in the volunteer tea in June, but I think we will at this point. So People's Bank did donate $200 for an award, and Jeanette and I discussed whether or not we could get just some small gift cards or something for the other nominees, because they're really, the work that these kids do is amazing, and it's so hard to make a decision, but it's also difficult not to award some of the other work that has been done. But we do want, one standout award. So that will be decided soon. The After School Guided Study Program, they have been, tutors have been meeting with children, and deciding if they're going to do it remotely or in person, depending on the, the child and the family's wishes. They will receive an hour of, the tutors receive an hour of planning time per student, and they have between 2 to 5 students each for 30 minutes each week. So they will be spending the entire enhancement grant budget on this, and then we'll probably finish with a pizza party at the end of the year if all goes well. I attended the 6th grade parent orientation last month at the middle school, and it was really an interesting time because parents are so excited to come in and just visit the school and meet some of the staff. I had a table right at the front door. I got to meet lots of parents. I went in and spoke, and so many people have called and commented, and interestingly enough, our Facebook our visits shot through the roof after that. So I think it was really, it's always worth our while. And also I have parents sign up to get information. So because I don't have a direct line to parents at Beach Your Own School. So it really does help to meet the parents directly and also have them sign up and give me email addresses so we can start communicating directly with them. And I did also recently speak to the PTO person at Beach Your Own School, and she has been sharing on the parent Facebook for the PTO. So she shares information for us, it's really the only way I meet the feature parents, because we don't have all of their emails. But she did say that she's got an email list and she'll start sharing those, and then she'll turn that over to someone next year, because she has someone coming to the middle school next year. But it really has helped. And I think having a Facebook page, we're really going to, meet more parents where they are. Pi Day event. I thought it was a great idea, but the kids didn't. So we canceled it because we just, we didn't have an interest, and I probably wouldn't have been here that day anyway. So paint party we have planned for April 29th, right after school at the middle school. It's $25. And again, Samantha Woodruff will be instructing. So we're hoping that we have a little more interest this time, and they'll paint a spring scene. So I'll ask her to send that to me so I can send it out to families. And that's also on our Facebook. Awareness Week is coming up at the middle school. It's April 25th through 29th. So Sarah Pearson met with the kids in the student council, and they come up with a theme for each day. So we support that by buying the supplies that they need. So they'll be doing some craft supplies. I think they'll be making, bird feeders like for a conservation day out of pine cones. And then they'll be making some, like beaded bracelets, and they'll do a day of silence. So we'll provide wristbands for the day of silence. And so we'll refine that at our next meeting with them. Spring break week, the instructor that we normally have for babysitting is unavailable, so I will be trying to set up a babysitting course another time. It might have to be a full day on a Saturday or something, I don't know, but or we'll break it up into some after-school programs. But we did schedule a home alone class, so that is April 12th, and we'll do that in the library meeting room. So that's Tuesday during the spring break week. Which is next week, and that'll be from 10 to 12:30, and the fee is $15. And we talk about emergencies, and we talk about how to be safe and, what to do when someone comes knocking at the door, or, whether or not to answer the phone, and setting up house rules. And then we talk about nutritious snacks, and then we try to share some nutritious snacks with them. So it's really fun. Vinny Lynch from the police department usually helps us out, so he will be there. And Joe Capucci from the fire department will stop in and talk about fire safety. So it's a great little course for 2.5 hours. I think the kids get a lot out of it. And then we send a packet home so that they can share this information with their families as well. The high school has a new club they're forming. It's called Amity Connections. And so they have asked youth services to help fund kind of a ropes course adventure program. Normally, we would have taken kids from the middle school to the Adam Krieger adventure course at Hopkins, but they don't seem to have it going right now. So the counselors at the high school found a similar program at the Discovery Museum in Bridgeport. And so we will help fund that. And I've reached out to the town of Orange to have their youth service department also use some of their enhancement grant to help out with this. So right now they're planning that for April 29th, if all goes well, and the rain date would be May 16th. What else? We did receive a $200 donation from the police union, and we will be using that towards raffle prizes for youth evening programs. And the middle school generously donated Amity ware. So we got 2 nice drawstring bags, and they had stainless steel bottles in them that have the A for Amity, and got a couple t-shirts and some Amity socks. And so we gave those out at the program Friday night. So speaking of which, and also we received donations from Amity Bowl for like a family pack. We got some donations from Dip Top, the Clay Date, and the Vault, which is a new virtual reality place in Seymour. So many of those we gave out at the 6th grade party. So Friday night was our 6th grade party for the kids from Bethany and Woodbridge to come together and have an experience at the middle school. So it was a great night. I think we had at least somewhere between 125 and 130 kids at the program from my count today. And we had lots of parents. We had at least 12 to 13 volunteers, which was great. And it's a lively group, and they were really excited. We had a large double obstacle course. So we had the kids, disinfect their hands before they went in, and only one could go in on each side at a time. But it was really great. They enjoyed that. We had a new DJ who's a personal friend of the middle school principal, and he's like an 8th grade teacher himself, so he really knows kids this age. And the kids just had a ball. And thank you to our staff here, because our staff has been, kind of eliminated the evening program staff just because they haven't worked in so long, and they've taken other jobs that were unavailable now. So it was Sarah. She did a great job coordinating this, and Jeanette came and Ellen came to help us out. And we had another person, a per diem person, Laurel was there. And then our one regular who keeps coming back, BJ, her, and I have to give her kudos because she's been great for years and years. And so it was a great night. We were really happy with it. And hopefully these kids will, come again next year. So we'll be looking forward to seeing them at the 7th grade picnic in August. 8th grade party, we have one coming up on April 22nd. Kind of busy this month. And that's going to be a BOW 8th grade party, and we will do that at the high school. So it brings those kids to the high school, so they have a fun experience there. We'll have a DJ, again, same DJ. He is about half the cost of what most other DJs are charging, and he can make more money, but when he does it for, school kids, he charges much, much less. So we were very lucky to get this DJ. It's really a plus for us. And at the 8th grade party, we'll serve pizza, some snacks, have DJ, and then we'll have some giant games. So Orange Youth Services bought a big Connect 4, and we bought a big Jenga, and we bought a cornhole just to keep the kids busy and have some fun.
Hey, Nancy, question for you. I hate to put a crimp in it, but April 22nd is during Passover.
It's during Passover? Ooh.
It's the next to last day of Passover. And I'm just wondering if that might put a crimp in some of the kids' ability to go.
I think it's April 29th, Arnie.
I thought you
No.
said the 22nd.
No, April 22nd is the
Oh,
eighth grade party. Jeanette.
Right, okay, right.
Oh, I didn't realize, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that, because I know that it started the week before. I don't know if that's something that can be changed because it takes so long to book these ahead between the school district and the, also with the DJ. And I can't,
Just a thought.
see. I know, and I
You might lose
appreciate
your
it.
sign up.
Yeah. I'll have to see, and I could talk to the DJ to see, but we do also have a party for the 7th and 8th grade booked in May, mid-May. So I don't know if there's another date that we can come up with now. I guess we'll have to let it ride and just see how many kids sign up. I just, it's interesting because even the fact that we do it on Friday nights, typically we've had a few people through the years have asked why we do it on Friday nights. And honestly, it's because there's personnel in the school on Friday nights and we don't have to pay extra for the maintenance people to be there. Otherwise, you'd have to open a building on a Saturday and it's just probably not going to happen around here. But I thank you for pointing that out and we'll just be looking to see if that puts a crimp in anyone's situation. And I'll talk to Orange Youth Services. We do have some people signed up already, but we're not, not nearly there yet. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Luckily, we don't have an inflatable booked, so it's not as costly because the inflatable is really, really expensive, so it's just the DJ costs. But yeah, I'll talk to Orange Youth Services too, see how they're doing with signups. But good point. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. I try to keep up with all this. All right. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Nancy? Any other questions, comments? Thanks, Nancy. Busy month, right?
Yes, it is.
So I'll need a
Really busy.
motion to accept Nancy's report.
So moved.
Kathy? Okay,
Yes.
and a second?
I'll second.
Arnie, thank you. Okay. Janet?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Arnie?
Yes.
Viviana?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Okay. Christy, would you give us the Woodbridge Center report, please?
Sure. We were very close to being able to lift the mask requirement at the center. We got through 2 weeks in the yellow zone, and then last week on Thursday, we unfortunately went into the red zone. So we have to continue to wear masks for all center programming. But despite that, we are still continuing to have an increase in participation in all of our programs at the center, which is really nice, especially as everyone's gathering more and more back in person. The evidence-based lifestyle change program is having the fitness class with it, and that's going really well. 85% of the class of the program attendees are consistently coming to the fitness class, and several of them are also taking the Thursday class that's offered by our exercise instructor. And the overall retention in the class is going really well. There's only one person that discontinued coming. This is our first hybrid class that we've offered. So it's on Zoom and in person. So there's a learning curve with that. We've had some issues with the mic picking up the speaker, and there's a couple of people in the class that have a hard time hearing. So we recently purchased a lapel mic, and Ellen and I worked on it today to try to get it going, and it will solve both of those issues. And then we can use it in other hybrid classes going forward. The Armchair Adventure series is going really well. That began on March 11th with the adventure to Yellowstone. Hamden Rehab did a really nice job presenting it. We only received positive feedback from it. There were snacks provided for the attendees to take with them of snacks that you would take on a hike. There were some raffle prize or trivia, some prizes that people could win based on some trivia that they could do during the class. And the next park in the series will be on Yosemite on April 8th, and it'll include another educational majestic film. And that's followed by an opportunity to be able to paint a scenic view from the park with watercolors. So that should be fun. And on March 16th, we had our in-person viewing of the Wadsworth Museum Virtual Art Tour series, which we co-hosted with the library. That also had good participation. And the next art tour in that series will be on Milton Avery's works on April 6th. And on March 17th, we had 128 Woodbridge residents that we served at the St. Patrick's Day drive-through. This was a record for us for the amount of meals that we provided. It was sponsored by Coachman Square and by the Holly Shambrom team, Coldwell Banker Real Estate. Carol from Coachman and a couple of people from the Holly Shambrom team came to the drive-through to help out. The Holly Shambrom team also provided an LED flashlight and a multi-purpose pen, which just had many different gadgets on the pen. The top twisted off and there was a screwdriver or a Phillips head, and then you switched it over for a flathead, and that had a lot of oohs and ahs, and everyone really enjoyed that, especially. And then Hampden Health provided a festive treat bag to everyone that attended also. The next drive-through will be to celebrate spring, and that'll be on April 7th. And the sponsors of that drive-through are the law firm of Resnick and Resnick and the Linden at Woodbridge. And Hampden Rehab will also provide another treat bag for that. On April 23rd, the centers will participate in the Town Earth Day by hosting a tag sale in the Grove from 10 to 1. And on April 28th, the center will host a crime prevention presentation, which will be given by Woodbridge Police Officer Brian Pedalino. This will be in the center building gym due to the increase in local carjackings and other crimes recently. So he'll provide helpful hints of how to stay safe when going shopping or to medical appointments or to restaurants. There's a lot of crimes that have been happening recently in broad daylight and even in public places. So we want to try to keep especially the older adults of our community as safe as possible. And the preschool here, the Woodbridge Preschool, is that right, Jeanette? Is that the name of it?
Child Care Center.
Child Care Center, thank you. I was having a little blank. And the craft group kind of started this organic craft exchange. The preschool made a couple different crafts over the holidays and gave them to the craft group. I'm just going to grab one here. Sorry. The craft group made these adorable little bunnies to give to each one of the preschool kids, which is really sweet.
How many bunnies did they make? A lot.
They made about 10 of them, and a couple extra just in case. So they're very kind gesture. I'm sure they'll love them. As the number of pickleball players continues to increase, especially during the pandemic, the recreation department, parks, and the center has come together to be able to add 2 additional courts, outdoor courts. The rec is going to be covering the cost to have the lines painted on the 2 new courts, and the center will be covering the cost of 2 new nets. We've gotten a lot of feedback from pickleball players about what nets work best in other towns, and so we've taken that into consideration for a purchase. And the pickleball players are very excited about having these additional courts. They will be very well utilized.
Where will they be?
Where, I'm sorry?
On the tennis courts,
On the
on the
tennis
town
court.
courts.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm one of the pickleball players.
Ooh. Your numbers are rising too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, almost daily, definitely weekly.
Tennis.
That's where the other 2 are on the tennis courts now. And as building maintenance started the demolition part of the renovation this month, which Jeanette will get into in detail, but all of our programs that utilize the center have been relocated to the library. And we're very grateful that the library has been able to accommodate us and to help out with all of those needs. A few months ago, I requested everybody to follow us on Facebook so we could reach the 200 mark. And now, happy to say we're at the 255 mark. And we're trying to use other ways to electronically communicate, which seems to be working as I mentioned earlier, participation just in the center in general is really increasing. I'm sure it also helps that we're meeting in person, but the increase in Facebook followers helps too. And we're still trying to get the transportation driver position filled. We had the table at the JCC on the 16th, and we've scheduled several interviews, and we continue to receive resumes. Unfortunately, we have yet to have anyone actually show up for the interview. We've modified our advertising to try to be more specific to our needs so that hopefully it will help get a good fit for the position. And as far as the grants, we haven't heard anything from the 2 grants that we've been waiting to hear back. I was informed by both the Agency on Aging of South Central Connecticut and Connecticut Healthy Living Collective that we would be informed either way, if we were awarded the funding or not, but I have not heard anything. So hopefully we'll get at least 1 grant. Are there any questions?
Lots of exciting things happening.
Art class is full.
But we have a really nice location, right? In the library.
Yeah, over
with
in
all
the
artwork
library.
there.
Yeah, that worked out nice.
It's good.
Yeah, people were very happy with that today. Lots of light.
Yes.
Good. Good news. If there are no more questions or comments, then need a motion to accept Christie's report.
So moved.
Make a motion.
Pat made it. Okay. And a second?
I'll second
Janet,
it.
you want to second it? Okay. Janet?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Arnie?
Yes.
Viviana?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
And me, yes. Okay. Report is accepted, motion carries. Jeanette, would you like to give us your comprehensive human services report?
Sure, thank you. So on the budget update, when the budget passed through the Board of Finance, we were returned $2,968. We requested, following the Board of Selectmen reduction of $10,637. We requested this money back because, you know, it was kind of a devastating blow to where it was coming from. So Matt actually made a statement saying, you know, in light of expenditures elsewhere, I think he was referring directly to the school system, that, you know, certainly the seniors in this town deserve every cent they ask for. So it was very nice. And we do ask that your attendance at the preliminary budget hearing in support of the budget, April 18th at 7:30. I believe it'll be at the firehouse with doors open. I have not yet heard whether masks will be required. I think given the positivity rate in the red right now, that would be prudent. But you know, you all have to follow along with whatever it is that makes you guys comfortable. So we hope that you can attend. In terms of masks and test kits, we were tasked with distributing more of the test kits and KN95 masks since we did our last distribution. And we've been going along pretty well. And then we put it in the newsletter that starting April 1st, anyone in town with a ID can come by appointment. And we've been really busy, really busy. Ellen and I have been sort of keeping track, and it looks like about 120 test kits have gone out in the last week or so. And, you know, they're going out in 2s and 3s of the boxes. So you can imagine that's a lot of people coming by. We are trying to limit it to 3 appointments in a day. We're letting people come at 9, at 11, and at 3. Seems to be working out. Everybody who's so far wants to come can sort of fit one of those time slots in. And so we have little clusters, but not people interrupting our workflow all day long. And I know Ellen, you know, is accommodating. So there were a couple people who showed up today at 4:30, work schedules and all. And we have had somebody come at 8:30 who needed to get to work. So we're not shutting people out. It's just, we just can't have them walking in all day. We had one guy today walk in to make his appointment. So, you know, sort of defeats the purpose. But we took care of him anyway, rather than have him come in and then make an appointment and come back tomorrow. But we're meeting a lot of nice people, and everybody's very grateful. We're also giving out masks. We were given a large quantity of little girl, I don't know, maybe little boys wear them too, these little tiny pink masks. Little boys would look great in them, in my opinion. But we also got some little boy masks too that are sort of a preschool-y look to them. And so people with young children are getting those, or grandchildren. And we're also giving out bottles of Purell that we had. So people seem quite pleased with it. If the supplies last, we plan to have a table at the Earth Day weekend celebration on Saturday. If we have any more left, we'll just put them out that day, and people will have to show ID, because I'm sure people will come from other towns to the Earth Day celebration, but we'll just give them out to Woodbridge residents. We are planning a pop-up COVID booster shot clinic with QVHD. We got enough calls recently that I reached out to QVHD, and they said great minds think alike. They were just wondering if their partner towns would be interested, and we're working on a date about mid to the 20s of April. And in the last couple of days, you know, I think they said, you know, get about 10 and we'll plan the date, and I have 20. So people have just started calling. They come in for the masks, and then we say, are you interested in getting a booster shot? And it's mostly the people we've already handled who we ask, you know, the olders. I have a 102-year-old who got her first and second shot here, and her son and daughter-in-law also did as well. And one of them came in today, and they was, oh, that would be wonderful. You know, she's 102 and wants her booster, which is terrific. So stay tuned for the date on that. I'll send it out when I know it, in case those of you, I think it would be those of you over 50 would be welcome. Probably those who are immunosuppressed can talk their way into it as well. But right now it's over 50. So VITA is wrapping up. We're in week 11, I believe, 10 of 11. Tomorrow we'll be finishing up week 10, and then 11 is next week, the 12th. So we'll be done, and we've helped either by referral, questions that could be answered, or in person, or drive-through, or online appointments, over 200 people with their taxes at this point, and we still have 2 more weeks to go. So a lot of calls coming in, and the tone of the voice is no more calm. It's a little bit agitated. I got to get my taxes done. So we're handling all that. Ellen does an amazing job with coordinating it all. And then we got a new client whose primary physician is in Beacon Falls. Beacon Falls is not one of the towns that we cover. We'd like to modify the transportation guidelines to cover Beacon Falls. The way we looked at it, it's a lot closer to get to Beacon Falls than Brantford, and parts of Milford. Parts of Wallingford are much farther. So it's sort of a no-brainer to add in Beacon Falls. We've just never had anyone who had a doctor there before. Not saying anything about Beacon Falls, but
They're very exclusive.
there you go. So we want to make that change, and I'd be happy if somebody would make a motion to include Beacon Falls in the transportation program guidelines.
I'll make-
Viviana,
Yes,
and
I'll
a
make,
second, and a second.
Second,
Pat, okay. Janet,
Yes.
Jen,
yes.
Arnie,
Yes.
Viviana,
Yes.
Pat,
yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
and myself. Okay.
Terrific.
Motion
Thank you so
carries.
much.
So now Beacon Falls will be included in the transportation program.
Great. Thank you very much. I thought it was kind of a no-brainer, but I'm glad we talked about it. So vaccine policy. Oh no, I missed the May meeting. Let me go back to the May meeting. I am actually going away.
What?
Going away, and I'm going to miss the May meeting. It is our first meeting back in person per the vote we took at the March meeting. I'd like to cancel that meeting and schedule a special meeting for May 9th, if that works in your schedules. We can do that. It's just up to you whether you want to. For me, we're in the red now, so that pushes us off just a little bit further. And perhaps we'll get back to orange or yellow by mid-May. That's me knocking on the desk, hoping that it's so. But if it works for you, I know we are scheduled for the first Monday of the month. It's just, I might be on the beach. So,
What, you don't want to zoom in from the beach?
I'm not sure about the internet connection. I'm going far to the beach.
Okay.
I'm taking my daughter away. She just got into med school.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very pleased and proud of her. So I thought before she gets busy, we should have one more time together. But how does it work with all of you? Have you had a chance to look at your calendars? I don't know that we. It's good?
It's okay with me.
Okay.
Okay. Well, would somebody like, if there are no objections, is it a problem with anybody's calendar? Jeanette and I had already spoken about it, so it's fine with my calendar. Is it a problem for anyone?
I don't think so.
And would somebody like to make a motion to accommodate Jeanette's very wonderful request?
I'll make a motion to do so.
Thank you, Janet.
Special meeting on May 9th, okay? And a second?
A second.
Thank you,
I'll
Lauren.
second. Yeah.
Okay. Janet,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Arnie,
Yes.
Viviana,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
and myself. Unanimous.
Thank you all. Much appreciated. I'm going to look into booking the room 16. As we don't have the cafeteria, that would be our next largest room to meet in, and we can open the windows to get fresh air, and so we can meet together. But I just don't want to go back into that conference room. It's just too small, and we've always been very packed in there. Even before COVID, it was rather small. So I'll look into room 16, and hopefully it's available. There aren't any other commissions that will need a room, and they're not open to outside groups utilizing room 16 at this juncture.
Now, what about the library, the meeting room in the library?
It's a lovely room. We could meet over there if it's available. Sure, why don't I try that first? And then I'll let you know what I find out. That actually does get booked to outside groups, so. But let me ask there first. I like that idea a lot, Arnie, and then room 16 as a second backup. And we could meet in the gym. They can put a table and a few tables in the gym, and that's a nice big room. I just, we'll start with the meeting room at the library, as Arnie suggested, and I'll go to room 16, and hopefully we'll find a place to meet. Sorry that we don't have the cafeteria, but that is gone. So quick on the vaccine policy update for the town. The town had a vaccine policy. Those who were unvaccinated needed to go to, those employees who were unvaccinated needed to go to weekly testing. They were provided an extra half an hour of pay to go and get tested. The town hall has rescinded that policy. And apparently it's in line with what the governor wanted and other towns are doing. So those who are unvaccinated do not have to have weekly testing, but they do need to wear masks at all times, whereas other town employees do not need to be masked. So that's that policy. Give you a quick ARPA update renovation. We did receive a better budget, lower price. We went from somewhere in the 900,000s, which of course is money we don't have, to the 500,000s, which is a good start. The HVAC budget also went down, and it looks like it's about 220,000 right now. We are, based on Tony Genevieve's suggestion, I wrote a letter to the Board of Finance and Selectmen, and it got held up and did not go before the Board of Finance as Tony had planned. It will go to the Board of Selectmen at the April 13th meeting to request the money needed for the HVAC through the ARPA funds through a capital budget request. And hopefully we won't hit any more roadblocks, and the Board of Selectmen will review that and grant us that money. Then at the preliminary budget hearing, as I understand it, the Board of Finance has its regularly scheduled meeting following the preliminary budget hearing, and there can be an additional item on the agenda. We were trying to avoid that, but unfortunately, they'll have to take up that issue at that time, and hopefully they can approve it. That said, the plan is that creates the ability to utilize the HVAC funds from the ARPA money. I swore I'd never be one of these people who use jargon like that. But the funds, because it's a capital budget that's federally funded item, it will not need to wait till FY23. And the day after the town meeting, if it's approved by both Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance, and the budget gets approved that night, then we can have access to the capital budget funds, federally funded capital budget funds, the next day. So what our hope is that this project doesn't have to wait months and months and months until they determine the rest of the ARPA funding. It is a known quantity. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be part of the renovation. You can't open a ceiling and put new ceiling tiles there without addressing the ventilation and the duct work that needs to go in, because it makes no sense to put down a new floor in the senior center and then open up a ceiling and put in duct work. It's just not done. So the project needs to get started. I think I put in my report that, September 2nd was the last day, September 1st was the last day we were in the senior center. September 1st night, we had the flood, 7 months and counting that since we've been able to utilize that space. So, more and more delays, it just puts us that much farther out. And, we're trying to build something here. The longer we're not here, the harder that job is. And every time we seem to build and get somewhere, we seem to have a problem that sort of breaks us down. I mean, COVID did a number on all of our attendees down there, and we're just trying to build that back. And Christy's doing an amazing job of continuing the programming, continuing the outreach, and making it happen. It's just really, really hard when she's running, to the library to start every program and running back to, get the lists and get the materials. That's tough work, but she's getting her steps in. So,
Right.
So that's that on the ARPA funds. Do want to say that the demolition happened a little quicker than we anticipated. The building maintenance took that on, embraced it, did a fantastic job, saved the town thousands and thousands of dollars by taking that out of the renovation plan. They took down the drop ceiling, the lighting, the framework for the drop ceiling. They're taking out the doors. They took down the shades, and they're just on and on and on. The ductwork that was previously existing, they've done a phenomenal job. And so kudos to building maintenance and the park department peeps. We have access, I guess building maintenance has access to the park department guys on rainy days, because otherwise they don't have much to do outside. So they find indoor projects for them. We did put in a request for more ARPA funds for a Courtyard Terrace project. The request is part of your package. If you haven't read it yet, I hope you will read it. We had a vegetable garden that's been out there and now unused for quite a few years, and we think we can make a really great dedicated space for seniors. And if COVID's done nothing else, it's proven the need for outdoor dedicated space, at least for seniors. It's remarkable. They just love it. And there's not a lot of ADA accessible outdoor spaces in town. This is really something that would be special for them. So I just want to let you know that we've applied for it. That request has to get in line with all the other requests, and we may not hear about it until the fall.
How much is it?
And then the ramp remediation is underway. The building maintenance department put in a camera. They check the line. They check the flow by putting in dye. They've checked the catch basin outside the police department for the flow of the water. They are going to bring something in this week to flush the line, so it sort of scrubs the line of any of the contaminants that are there. And they're also planning to now put in, he told me the name of it, and I really did forget, and I didn't write it down. It's, that rubber part that's at the bottom of a door, flange. I think it's flange. I'm not sure, but it has a name. Apparently the one we have, you can see daylight through it. It's just sort of feathered. So he's looking into finding some parts that are waterproof. They will need to be replaced yearly, because as you push and open the door, those parts get worn, but that can be on his watch list. And so that's one of the first things he's going to do to replace and see if that can modify the situation of the flooding. And he's still looking into the idea of a sump pump, but that is not the first things he's doing. First, he's checking the lines and checking the flange. That's not the right word.
No.
You have a name
Hey,
for it,
it's
Pat?
good enough. It's good enough for this crowd. It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think that's it. Any questions? Any other topics I missed talking about?
I just wanted to say that I'm sure it's clear to all of you that there are many moving parts to this, and that Jeanette and Christy and Nancy and everybody have been on top of this. It's been like a ballet, a choreographed ballet, tons and tons of meetings, and an enormous amount of work has gone on into this, which I think is apparent when you read all of the documentation, but I did want to just say that you can feel the project, you can see the project moving forward, and support from all of you. If anybody in your travels asks you about the project, you know, we need a full court press here for us to get this large boulder over the last little bump in the road. And we do hope that, as Jeanette outlined, all these next events that are going to be happening, we hope that they happen. And the choreography continues in a positive manner, because it's not just the 7 months that this has taken, but it's all the preceding years that we have waited for this to happen. So,
Susan, I actually realize I have just 3 more points. I'll be very quick. We do have a meeting tomorrow with Silver Petroselli. We're hoping to address the last few items, and that will have them then create the bid documents. So tomorrow afternoon, and Dwight is coming to that meeting, and should be a good meeting where we get just everything sorted away, and then we can go to the bid documents. So that's very exciting. I was given, I don't know if any of you know Barry Josephs. He's our resident veteran who plans Memorial Day and Veterans Day events, and he does so beautifully. He just wanted me to let you all know tonight that May 30th is Memorial Day, and at 11 a.m. Monday, May 30th, out on the Veterans of Foreign Wars Monument lawn in front of this building, he'll hold an event. So that's this little public announcement there. And the last thing is, it's not on the agenda, and I'm going to say it anyway. We did meet as a staff, and we've decided to go ahead with the volunteer tea, not as it has been in the past, a little bit modified. You'll get a lot more information about that at your May meeting. But if you're interested in that event, we're looking at June 1st and in the afternoon and out on the lawn. So that's just a little tease about the volunteer tea, but it won't be a tea, I don't think. We're just going to honor some volunteers, because we have not done so since 2019. It was canceled in 2021, and now we feel like we could do something small, but just to say thank you for so many of you and everyone else. So that was it for me. Sorry.
thank you.
Well, let us know how we can help you with that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jeanette, for the very, very comprehensive report. I'll need a motion to accept Jeanette's report, Human Services Commission report.
I'll make
I'll
that
make-
motion.
Arnie, okay.
I'll second.
Second, Viviana, perfect. Janet,
Yes.
Jen,
Yeah.
Arnie,
Yes.
Viviana,
Yes?
Pat,
Yes,
Lauren,
Yes.
Kathy? Kathy?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and myself, yes, okay, unanimous. Okay,
So on the next meeting there, under old business, new business, I did not put a date. The next meeting will be May 9th as a special meeting. And we will send that out and get the clerk's office informed.
And it will not be a Zoom meeting. It will be our first non-Zoom meeting, right? Okay.
It'll be good to see you all.
Could be wonderful.
Don't show off your tan too much.
Right. Is there anything else that under old business? New business? Okay. I'll need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much, Janet. And a second?
Second.
Jen? Okay. Janet?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Arnie?
Yes.
Viviana?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
And me. Okay.
And I just double checked that. It was Janet who made the motion and Jen who seconded?
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Yep. Again,
Hey, thank you.
seems so abrupt, but let's not forget the important town meeting where we hope you are all, the budget meeting, we hope you will all be in attendance at the firehouse. And we'll let you know if we need any additional support for anything. Okay?
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
reason the preliminary budget hearing is a good opportunity is people get up and they say the darndest things. And it's great to have members of the commission who can get up and say, this is my experience with that, or this is why we think it's so important to fund human services. So, it's just nice if you're in the room to be able to say that. Otherwise, I'll be there and you bet I'll say something. So it's good to see you all and thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Good night.
Hi, guys.